So in another match on last night's Raw, we had Alberto Del Rio taking on Dolph Ziggler, a battle of the former foes, and of course the match lasted maybe approximately a minute, so that was kind of that was cheap. I would have enjoyed a much longer match from those two, but we got two much longer matches than that earlier on in the night, so I understand WWE pulling the cutting it short, so I don't blame them for that. But what was noteworthy, what was happened after the match, was when Batista came out, went directly after Del Rio, and delivered a Batista bomb to Del Rio right through the commentary table, which was ominously replaced later on in the night, so I thought that was pretty funny. But even still, Batista versus Del Rio has been since confirmed for the Elimination Chamber card in just a few short weeks. Has not been the most exciting feud, but it has been well built to a point where people do want to see Batista destroy Del Rio. But it's interesting because I don't know how I forgot to mention this in the news session that we were going through before, but it was reported mid last week that Del Rio might be looking to quit the WWE, or leave the WWE, that is, once his contract expires, because he feels he isn't being used to his full potential. And I think the biggest problem with Del Rio is the fact that he was pushed too aggressively too quick. And he's already a 4-time world champion at this point in his career, and he's only been in the company for only a little over 3 years. And he's feuded with everyone from Cena to Orton to Sheamus to Big Show. He's feuded with everybody, and he has no fresh feuds left. So, that being said, what are your thoughts, Chris, on the feud between Batista and Del Rio going to Elimination Chamber, and your thoughts on Del Rio potentially leaving WWE once his contract expires?
Well, like you said, Del Rio was just pushed way too quickly. He should have been an IC or U.S. champion first. He shouldn't have won the Royal Rumble and the Money in the Bank and all these titles so quickly. But he did have a lot of fame coming over from Mexico, and I'm sure that WWE paid for a top star, so they wanted to use him like a top star. But the Batista-Del Rio feud, it's obviously just to keep Batista busy until WrestleMania, so it's just going to be a win for Batista. Del Rio will probably look pretty strong for a few minutes, just like every heel does against every babyface, but it's just going to be another Batista bomb and a really, really easy win for him. And if Del Rio does decide to leave WWE, I'm fine with that, because there's, like you said, there's just nothing fresh for him to do until they promote some more superstars to that level. And obviously, Del Rio versus Roman Reigns, that would be news, so that might be interesting. But he is at a point in his career and his age where walking away while he can still walk is possibly the smart thing to do if he's got enough money saved up.
He's a great worker. He had an interesting character at first, but they've just dropped the ball on him so many times over the last 3.5 years that a lot of people have just stopped caring, regardless of whether he's a babyface or a heel. And it is sad, because he's only been in WWE, like I said, for only 3 years, and he's already run through almost every potential feud. I was looking through the roster not too long ago, and I couldn't find any fresh opponents for Del Rio to face, of his caliber at least. He's feuded with almost everybody. Like you said, maybe someone like Roman Reigns when he eventually turns, but who knows when that's going to be official. So, that being said, would I care if he left WWE? Yeah, I would care a little bit. I mean, he's a great in-ring worker, but he doesn't have much left to offer at this point in time. I mean, after his feud with Batista runs its course, and I don't know what the heck he's going to be doing at WrestleMania, and this is a guy that was world champion going into WrestleMania last year, I have really no idea what he's going to be doing following his... I don't even know when his contract expires. I don't think that was ever made clear. But it's going to be interesting to see what Del Rio does after Elimination Chamber. And I posted this question on Twitter a few days ago because I was thinking about this, because the whole point in turning Del Rio face last year was that he would be the new Latino babyface of WWE, with Rey Mysterio on the edge of retirement, and Mystico is now gone. He was a flop anyway. Hunico is now under the mask, and Del Rio might now be leaving. So that being said, I ask you, who do you see filling in that Latino spot atop the WWE if Mystico's gone, Rey Mysterio is going to be gone pretty soon, as well as Del Rio?
Well, the guy that's under the Sin Cara mask now, that was Hunico, that was also like a different Mystico in Mexico, he is talented enough in the ring to fill that role if they decide that they need somebody to do that, but I don't know if there's really anybody who has that name recognition of Rey Mysterio anywhere. I mean, Rey Mysterio has been huge since the minute he came to the United States and started wrestling. I mean, even in ECW, people were talking about how this little tiny guy was the next big thing, and I don't think they have anybody right now who really could be the next Rey Mysterio. They need to build somebody who's the next different guy, essentially. They can't have anybody who's going to match Mysterio, so they can't really even try.
Well, Sin Cara's merchandise is still selling pretty well. Will he be the next Rey Mysterio? Probably not, but I see them keeping the character around, even though Mystico's now gone. I mean, Hunico's still going to be underneath the mask, but he's never going to be pushed, though, even though his merchandise is going to be selling well, probably for the foreseeable future. Someone mentioned to me, though, that there's a wrestler right now down in NXT. His name is Kalisto, I think it is. I wasn't familiar with his work, I've maybe seen a match or two of his. I think I saw an appearance by him in NXT. I think he's set to debut in NXT. He debuted at the most recent taping, so maybe in March, I think. But even still, maybe him at some point. I think he's a very good worker from what I've heard. So if they build him up to the point where he could be a top merchandise seller in terms of masks and stuff, all the power to him. But like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Del Rio once his contract expires, whenever that may be.